right, hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here at the third day of the 51st IFTDO World Conference and Exhibition 2025. Now, probably a quick call to all of you probably still outside. Please do come and join us back here as we're about to continue with the next session. Now, we see a lot of you still enjoying your lunch. Don't worry. Feel relaxed, comfortable enough in your seats as we follow through our next agenda, which is a case study on assessment and enhancement of organization learning systems through accreditation. AI in managing learning performance. Now to be our speaker for this session, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to invite to the stage Dr. Muhammad Subhan Iswahyudi, Senior General Manager, Telkom Corporate University and Chief Learning Officer of Telkom Indonesia. Please do come and join us. And also our moderator today, Dr. Peter Shepard, Professor Emeritus from Oxbridge Institute of Professional Development, UK. Gentlemen, we give this session to you, and please do come and join us. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give our gentlemen here a big round of applause as they make their way up to the stage.
So you're all set? You want to speak to sitting in here or you want to stand up? Move around. It's up to you. Yeah. Selamat petang. Sudah makan? Makan sedap? Well, I'm from the UK, and however, I've been living in Malaysia, so I picked up some Malay Malaysian, but not Indonesian Malaysian. But my maid is Indonesian. But actually, we speak in English. So I'm pleased to have been invited to moderate this session. And today we're going to be following on, I think, very nicely from the previous session, where we talk about organizational learning, organizational culture, organizational, performance, of course. So, yes, we have then Dr. Muhammad Subhan Iswahyudi. But he says just to call him Subhan, right? And he's from Telkom Corporate University, Senior General Manager, but also CLO. Now, who can answer? What is CLO? CLO? Chief Learning Officer. I don't have an apple to throw you, but thank you. Okay, so Chief Learning Officer with Telkom Indonesia. So I think also for the last 5 years, he's been in marketing, and I think telecommunications is very much B2B, business to business, and so bringing in the business, if you will. So I think we all are here, of course, to learn. And I think if you go back to the origins of the learning organization, or back to Peter Senge's time, and they had something called Deutero learning, learning how to learn. And I think in the university today, that, of course, is very, very important. But, of course, now we're going to be looking at the new era. I think AI was not very prominent in the years of Peter Senge. So we leap forward, 40 years or more, and going to introduce that concept. The only thing I would perhaps like to say is learning takes place from actually within the womb until the tomb. But of course, we might suffer some disease like dementia, Alzheimer's, and we might have our learning impaired. But I think we could say the same with organizations. Unless the culture is working, as we've already heard, unless AI now is being capitalized on, we may also organizationally die a premature death. So I think we'll be learning more about that. So let me welcome Dr. Subhan.
Thank you, Peter.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I have 20 minutes, I believe, for the presentation. Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be here to share.
Can you hold your mic a bit closer?
Okay.
Yeah.
A small case from our organization on AI adoption in learning. About 3 years back, when the AI, especially the ChatGPT, was used by most of the person in the organization, especially in Telkom Indonesia, the challenge for us in corporate university is about the existence of the corporate university, because it's very easy for them to access any information at any time. Then the question from the board is, do we still need a corporate university? That's the same question that we've been asked, Peter. So do we still need this organization, this specific unit within the company to organize learning, while they can do learning from their smartphone? They just need to type in a couple of prompts, then the response will go straight to them. And the best strategy for that kind of question for us, as in the football they say, the best defense is attacking. So that's the reason behind this adoption. So the best solution is not either having a corporate university to organize learning or AI, but to combine both worlds. So that's the case that we bring here. So we adopt artificial intelligence to improve the way we design learning, the way we develop our learning materials, and the way we develop our learning measurement. So that's what we do in the last couple of years. I'll start by discussing about the challenge that we have with AI. For the next slide, please. Next slide.
There we go.
Yeah, this is like the structure of my presentation and the structure of the discussion. And then as a state-owned enterprise, Telkom Indonesia have more than 40K workforce, and we have this kind of requirement or regulation to be followed within the state-owned enterprise. And I will share about that, then what we do in corporate university. Next slide, please. I believe you are all familiar with these challenges that we have at the moment. Artificial intelligence will replace a couple of jobs, but at the same time bring more opportunities for us. So this is what we believe in this organization. So AI can be utilized, AI can be adopted to an organization to improve our work. The use of Gen AI, especially the one that we need to be more curious is about the potential silent impact, and that's also the reason why the adoption of artificial intelligence in organization, especially in learning organization, need to be very scrutinized, and also we need to be very careful and also need to be systemized. Next slide. This is also what we believe from the world of learning and development. So there's an article that we use in organization about doing upskilling and reskilling, and I believe in IFTDO, this is also already discussed, that the need to learn the strategy of learning and development is not only the job of the HR people, it's not only the job of the corporate university. It needs to be part of the business strategy, and that's what we do in Telkom Corporate University. For example, on reskilling our workforce, we used to manage the business to consumer, and about 3 years back, there is a strategic decision to consolidate the business to consumer into our subsidiary. So in Telkom Indonesia, we need to focus on B2B. So there was a requirement to do massive reskilling in the workforce. We designed the reskilling approach, we designed the curriculum, but at the end of the day, it's the business leaders' engagement that will make sure that the program run properly and also have the field employee engaged with the program. That's what we believe, and that's what we implemented in this organization. So we act like a consultant to the business leaders, propose to them the way that we plan to do the reskilling, and then we have a discussion with them. When will that program be run? When or how we approach the employee, and how we communicate the program. So it's not only about designing and implementing, but it's also about communicating the benefit of the program, not only to the business leaders, but also to each individual of the employee there, because they will put some effort to do the reskilling activity, and they will need to see the impact in them in terms of their career progression, in terms of their future opportunities within the organization. So we implement that part as well. Next slide. And we also learn that the advancement of the technology actually help us in doing more effective learning design. For example, with artificial intelligence, we can actually do what we call now a hyper-personalization of learning. It's not only designing a specific curriculum to a specific roles, but with this kind of technology, we can identify more precisely based on their employment history, for example, based on the course that they have taken already. And we use this technology to do more specific learning recommendation. Of course, we need to build that within the organization. We have what we call tribe and squad as part of corporate university. So we implement that, we build the system within our in-house, we develop them in-house. I know that there are like quite a few of vendors offering this kind of platform, but what we believe is we just adopting an application or a platform from outside, it may not fully satisfy the requirement. So that's why we build them in-house. Next slide. This is also what we learn from the advancement of the learning and development, especially on the advanced learning management system, for example. So implementing a learning management system with this AI technology, meaning it's not only covering the technology itself, but it also, we need to make sure that we have the system. What I mean by the system, I will show you later how we define our learning architecture, because we adopt something from outside of the organization in a condition when we cannot fully define what we want to adopt. That means disasters. So we use this benchmark as our guidance to develop what we need to develop at first or initially, then adopt the technology. Next slide. Yeah, as a state-owned enterprise, we have some guidance from the Ministry of State-owned Enterprise, like the architecture pillars of human capital, and learning and development is part of that. So we have this guidance and we develop in the next slide. Next slide. We develop further based on our organization. In Telkom Indonesia, we have subsidiaries, so we develop a governance to do learning and development within the group. We define the internal regulation and we define the objective and we identify the pillars that need to be there. So this is the fundamental that we need to have before adopting the artificial intelligence. Next slide. Yeah, just to give you like a visual stimulus of what we do in the organization, we will have a 5 minutes video. This will show what we do in the organization and how we do it in short. Ya, videonya tolong. There is an English subtitle in that.
Perkembangan teknologi yang kian pesat, khususnya teknologi digital, membawa kita memasuki era revolusi industri 4.0. Disrupsi yang ditimbulkan akibat perkembangan teknologi digital tersebut membawa perubahan yang signifikan di segala aspek kehidupan. Masa depan dunia akan ditentukan oleh kita yang menguasai teknologi dan berinovasi. Telkom Korpo hadir menjadi corporate university pertama di dunia yang mengintegrasikan learning, research, dan innovation, siap mendukung transformasi Telkom Group melalui program reskilling dan upskilling, serta mendukung pengembangan digital talent nasional dan kesiapan inovasi bangsa melalui kerjasama dengan Pentahelix. Pada aspek learning, Telkom Korpo mengembangkan talentanya dengan metode dynamic curriculum, yaitu formula 70% experiential learning, 20% social learning, dan 10% formal learning. Telkom Korpo juga secara resmi menjadi pemegang sertifikasi BNSP, sehingga Telkom Korpo tidak hanya mendeliver konten, tetapi juga memvalidasi kompetensi. Pada aspek research dan innovation, talenta Telkom Korpo dapat mewujudkan idenya melalui tahapan 5D. Define, discover, design, develop, dan deploy. Setiap talenta akan mewujudkan ide inovasinya dengan berdasarkan riset yang sesuai pain problems. Hal ini untuk menemukan solusi yang tepat dengan memanfaatkan teknologi sehingga dapat mendorong talenta untuk menghasilkan inovasi yang sesuai dengan kebutuhan. Talenta Telkom Korpo dibimbing mulai dari mengusung ide inovasi hingga menyebarkan manfaat inovasinya kepada internal dan eksternal Telkom. Proses tersebut dikemas di dalam Innovation Center yang menerapkan konsep Living Lab di mana innovator dan juga player dapat sama-sama belajar dan berkembang. Sehingga Innovation Center menjadi suatu ekosistem yang mendorong inovator dapat terus mengembangkan inovasinya sesuai dengan feedback serta kebutuhan dari market. Dalam mengintegrasikan ketiga aspek tersebut, Telkom Korpo telah membangun dasar sistem yang akan tetap berkelanjutan sepanjang masa. Telkom Korpo juga mengemban amanah untuk menyukseskan transformasi Telkom Group yaitu 5 Bold Moves, khususnya dari sisi kesiapan talent. Untuk mendukung keberhasilan 5 Bold Moves tersebut, Telkom Korpu telah menyiapkan body of knowledge untuk setiap pilar bold moves yang terdiri dari FMC, B2B services, data center ecosystem, infraco, dan digico. Selain mendukung kesiapan talent di internal Telkom Group, Telkom Korpu juga ikut andil dalam pengembangan digital talent dari Pentahelix. Terbukti, pada tahun 2023, Telkom Korpu sudah menggelar training programs, publish researches, dan innovations go-to-market or operation baik untuk internal perusahaan maupun Pentahelix. Telkom Korpu juga dipercaya oleh berbagai partner di lingkup Pentahelix sebagai tempat benchmark dengan tujuan membantu talent development dan kesiapan inovasi dari institusi Pentahelix tersebut. Kerjasama dengan institusi di Pentahelix melahirkan berbagai layanan yang dikembangkan oleh Telkom Korpu, diantaranya berupa learning solutions, research solutions, innovation solutions. Berbekal komitmen dan dukungan dari Telkom serta seluruh partner dari Pentahelix, di tahun 2023, Telkom Korpu berhasil meraih penghargaan baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Pada event Global CCU Award Ceremony, Telkom Korpu diakui sebagai corporate university pertama di dunia yang memiliki unique position dengan mengintegrasikan learning, research, dan innovation. Dengan perjalanan yang sudah dilalui, Telkom Korpu telah mendapatkan banyak masukan untuk terus meningkatkan kapabilitas dan layanannya. Telkom Korpu berkomitmen untuk terus menjadi lebih baik demi mendukung terciptanya kemandirian teknologi Indonesia. Marilah kita wujudkan kemandirian teknologi bangsa ini melalui kesiapan digital talent, pengelolaan riset, serta pengembangan inovasi bersama Telkom Korpu.
So, in adopting artificial intelligence in corporate university, we retain the very first principle of corporate university, which is learning is not for the sake of learning. Learning is for business impact. We retain this as a main process of learning value chain, where we identify first what the business need, then we develop the program based on that requirement. Next slide. We also retain the, next slide please. Next slide. Yeah, we also retain the integration of learning in the work, or do the learning as part of the work, or learning as part of the flow of the work. Next slide. And we also adopt the organization governance on AI. That need to be established first. For example, we need to be very careful when we share a very confidential document to the open AI, for example, because if you don't have that kind of governance in the organization, you need to establish that first. We implement basically all of the learning platform, learning management system enhanced by artificial intelligence, and I will show you how we do that. Next slide. This is in short our journey, starting from 2023, where everyone have their own access to the AI, to the GPT, and we have learning experts that utilize that individually. Then we start organize them into our learning platform in early 2024. We have this approach in technology, in process, and in people as well. Next slide. Yeah, one challenge is of doing it in organization is to develop talent that is not only capable in adapting technology, but having the learning mindset in itself, like what Peter mentioned about learning how to learn. So we also develop our internal talent management system in this organization. For example, I have a Gen Z across the corporate university that need to be exposed to the whole organization. We do program like acting as deputy, where the a person that is now like 2 or 3 hierarchical level below the senior general manager be exposed to the way we do business or corporate university strategically. Next slide. Yeah, we have this program that we call Orange Team, where we expose all of the young talent to the whole organization. Next slide. And we also this program of AI heroes. We call it AI heroes because we believe that every person or every individual in organization need to be very conscious on how they adopt AI. We even develop our administrative support team to be very familiar with an effective prompting, and even some of them can upskill themselves to do like coding using AI. We now familiar with what we call AI agent. So how to use AI not only like in ChatGPT, you key in prompting, you have response, but have an AI to do something for you, like you. So that's the tagline that I use we use in the organization to develop AI heroes. Either you develop AI agent to do your work, or somebody else will develop AI agent to replace you. The first one will be preferable, right? So you still there in the organization with AI capabilities. Next slide. Yeah, this is also the one that we retain from the corporate university concept. We are not only focusing on current capabilities, but also future capabilities. Next slide. This is what I call, you need to define what do you want to do first before adopting AI. And this is what we define in our organization. We develop a learning hierarchy. So we define what we call module. We define what we call course, program, journey, and body of knowledge. We define them hierarchically, and we step by step implementing AI firstly on the module. Basically, module is like learning materials. We can easily develop AI to develop learning materials, and we use human expert to validate those materials. But then you need to have course. We define course like how we deliver the learning materials to the specific learner. And we also can have AI to enable us to do the design and have a human expert to validate the design. We define program, and what included in the program is doing coaching and mentoring or action learning program. We develop our AI-based coach and mentor, and we have that as part of the learning program. We define journey as a comprehensive and like 1 to 3 months activities to develop a specific skills in a specific job. And we implement AI to monitor all of the sequence that need to be there. And that will be the next aspiration for us. And the ultimate aspiration is to replace us as an organization with fully AI capabilities. We are still there to validate the process, but most of the process can then be replaced by AI. So this is actually what we define, and this is how we do it. This is how we adopt AI sequentially. Next slide. Yeah, this is like to showcase a couple of systems that we already use in place. We are quite familiar with the technology itself, and we use the technology to develop what we call Marshall. This is like automatic module development. Next slide. And I believe this will be my last slide. Yeah, DGI. It's quite familiar, I believe, in more organizations now to have a chatbot to have the employee and the learner to have them interact with the system. And this is what we implement in this organization. They can define what they want to learn, and they can then be provided with the learning materials, the mentor, and the coach. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I think we have a few minutes for Q&A. And I'm wondering, I think, depending on how much time we have, I will open it to the floor initially. But of course, if no hands go up, then we have one there then. And I just met that lady. Okay. Can the mic come over here to this person? There we go.
Okay, hello sir, I'm Anggia from Indonesia. My question is, the explanation you just tell us is about how you incorporate AI in learning in Telkom. What I want to ask is, do Telkom have like the must-have skill for about AI for all the employee? Like it's not specifically about the learning or the corpu, but for all the employee that are in the Telkom, because as we all know, AI skill is one of the most in-demand skill in the future. That's what I want to ask. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, we just launched a couple of weeks ago. We call that massive AI reskilling, upskilling. And that will include 40,000 employees, 40,000 workforce within the group. And the challenge is firstly to define the current state. We have aspiration to have like a couple of hundreds AI specialists, but then at least some of them will use or we utilize AI within their organization. Based on our observation so far, the business case, the best business case for AI adoption is to improve your operational efficiencies. So that's one. The potential new revenue is still a question mark, but the one that is evident is if you can adopt that to improve your internal business process, then that will benefit the organization. We have that program. Thank you.
Okay, terima kasih. More questions from anyone? I think according to the giant clock that's sitting up here, in case some of you wonder what it is, what all these things are, I've got about 4 minutes left. So let me ask a question then, that in terms of creating a culture, when you've got such a large organization, so diverse, have you found that AI has been a tool that actually helps bring people together and give a sort of a common denominator, building the culture from that?
Yeah, what we observe so far is it brings hope. It brings hope because, as you may already aware, telco industry all over the world is on its maturity stage, and this AI is something that we need at the moment to bring the industry forward, and all of the stakeholders is very enthusiastic about how we will adopt this as part of our next business strategy. And the way we use AI is it needs to be combined with something very crucial, cyber security. So it's not only about AI, but it's also about how you protect your organization and how you move this whole culture things into something that it's not being afraid of something that is called AI, but use them wisely and use them to be productive.
Okay, thank you. Because I remember, I think the first time I ever really became involved with Telecom in Malaysia, and they had a training center, And in fact, I was doing some training for them, but that would be like 15 years ago. No AI. But they were struggling with this idea of how to get a corporate culture of oneness in mission and vision and mindset and so on. And interestingly, the head of that learning center later became an IFTDO president and actually hosted the first IFTDO conference in Malaysia. And that was many years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. And then I think a few years later, we had another IFTDO conference there. Still no AI, but the same questions were coming up again and again and again. How do you form, how do you strengthen, the corporate culture? And that's actually where I met the current president when he was helping us organize the conference there. And that's actually why I came over here to meet him and to be with you all. So I'm coming to that idea that we almost gonna have to throw the textbook out, right? And everything that Sengi said, maybe the philosophic underpinning is correct, but we come into this knowledge sharing, and I would have thought then now we can use AI to enhance the knowledge sharing right across the board, digitally and geographically. So would you comment on that?
Yeah, we still implement what we call community of practice, but it's not doing it physically, it's doing it digitally. Yes. Yeah, that's the use of AI as well. We share how in one organization they implement the AI agent, how they implement the structure and the prompting and all of that part to the other organization that can use them. So we have that in organization, community of practice. We still call it that way.
All right, good. Well, I'm not sure about that clock. Now it actually says 21 minutes 54, so I don't know whether that means my time is up or not. But I think according to my timing, we are up. And so I would just like to thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to invite you all, if you have time, to go to Bandung. That's where the Telkom Corporate University is.
Oh, yes, I meant to mention that the university is in Bandung, and I also have never been there yet, but always wanted to. It's very popular among Malaysians, so maybe we'll meet again in Bandung,
Sure.
right?
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you very much. Very good.